Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be discussing about how I got a 4.0 GPA, a perfect score at Boston University during quarantine, and 6 tips that you can follow today to achieve those same results. If you're new to the channel, my name is Diego and this is Apex of Men. I'm an undergraduate student studying business and computer science at Boston University, and if you're interested in productivity, self-development, lifestyle design, and how to master your routine and your habits, smash that subscribe button below and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any video. New videos out every week. Let's go. So first, before we start, a quick little disclaimer. I'm not sharing these grades and these achievements to boast or to flaunt or anything like that. I despise people who do that. In fact, I don't really share my grades with anybody, but given the fact that I started this channel, and this is a channel about how to be more productive academically, professionally, and personally, I thought that it was very apt to share this success and share how I achieved this success. It's my first time sharing something that is very personal to me, my grades, but it's something that I think is educational and something that could bring a lot of value to you guys. And that is the exclusive reason why I'm doing this. So today I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips to do with how to study effectively, particularly during quarantine, during online classes, how to ace those exams, and how to build a good structure around studying and around academics that will help you thrive, succeed, not only during quarantine, but after quarantine is lifted. Habits that will carry forward throughout your life and will impact many, many areas of your life very, very positively. So let's get started. I want to give you a couple of general tips on how to build proper frameworks, proper habits, and a proper routine that will maximize your academic success and your free time to do other things that you're interested in. And then after those tips, I want to focus on more on 4 specific study tips that will help you be incredibly effective during these online classes and during this time of quarantine while we're all doing Zoom online and everything is basically digital. But before I share those tips, I want to establish a very important dichotomy that you will face not only in college, but also in later life in everything you do. You need to prioritize certain things. So if you're a person who is exclusively focused on academics, you can follow these steps and take them to the maximum extreme, and then you will maximize your academic output. However, if you're in university, to also take benefit of the extracurriculars, the networking opportunities, building side hustles, being an entrepreneur, all of these things at the same time as keeping your grades at a decent level, something has to give. So if you're exclusively focused on academics, take these tips to the extreme. But if you're not, these tips will also allow you to prioritize and maximize your effectiveness while studying and to achieve the best grades possible. They won't be perfect grades. They probably won't be a 4.0 GPA because it's very hard to divide your time effectively between all of the different things that university offers and all the different things that you want to be involved in. For example, when I got the 4.0 GPA, I was almost exclusively focused on academics. So that was something that benefited me academically. However, I sacrificed a lot of other things during that semester when we were quarantined. I sacrificed networking opportunities. I sacrificed extracurriculars. I sacrificed personal projects that I have going on. And me right now, personally, I'm focused on those side projects as opposed to the academics so much. So I want to be as effective as I can academically. I know I won't get a perfect grade, but that's fine with me because I know the other things that I'm involved in are so much more valuable and I am learning so much more from them than from the academics that it's an absolute no-brainer for me. So that is definitely a dichotomy you have to keep in mind. Now let's get started with the general tips. First of all, you need a stable routine. You need a routine where you start early in the morning. So set an alarm for around 2 to 3 hours before you actually need to be in class. So that gives you time to sit down and enter the pilot phase. The pilot phase is a productivity term that refers to that planning phase of your day. Wake up 2 to 3 hours before you need to be in class so you have ample time to wake up, take a shower, get ready, sit down, plan your day, know what you need to do, write down your tasks for the day either on paper or through an app, and also plan ahead in terms of the events that are already pre-scheduled in your calendar. So that's online classes, extracurriculars, office hours, going to the gym, all of these things that are already pre-scheduled on your calendar. Look through them, and in the spaces between those events, focus on completing your tasks that you need to complete for the day. That way, there is absolutely no excuse to be wasting time. So you have a stable routine and you're maximally effective with the time you are using each day. This is absolutely crucial to keep your grades up and also be very involved in the college community, be it extracurricularly, making connections, and truly exploiting as much value as you can from these really, really expensive universities. Another important thing to do with a stable routine is prioritizing between an event or a task that takes high energy versus low energy, and an event that is high priority versus low priority. You want to do the high energy, high priority events early on in your day, so you kick them out of the way, and then during the afternoon or the evening, when your energy levels are starting to drop and you're a little more tired and more prone to roaming social media or watching Netflix, you have those low priority, low energy events that you can tackle, feel good about them, and then continue your day and actually finish absolutely everything that you need to do. This is a very, very important productivity tool, tackling the most difficult and highest priority things in the morning, so there's absolutely no excuse to not do them later. The second general tip has to do with environmental design, and that refers to designing your environment, your dorm room, your apartment, and your life to be maximally effective academically and in all of your other side projects. So for example, when you're working, sit at a desk. Do not take your online classes from your bed. Do not take them from a location that is not exclusively used for working. So set out a desk and only use that desk for online classes or working. It's incredibly important to divide your personal spaces from your productivity spaces and your work spaces. This is very important because your brain gets accustomed to the activities that you perform in that space. So if you're in bed, your brain should understand that that is a place for rest and it's not a place for online classes and it's not a place for social media. So whenever you go to bed, you're tired. And when you're at your desk, your brain knows that you need to be productive and you need to be working and not doing the billions of other things that are trying to distract you. That is incredibly important. So sit on your desk, have your phone as far away as possible, eliminate all notifications from your computer and from your phone, from your iPad, from wherever you need to do. So you are maximally focused on your online classes and on the work you need to be doing. And that way you don't miss a single thing and you don't have to go back to lectures or go back to class slides or whatever to get that information after the fact. So you just have to focus in on the lessons and be as effective as you can there and ingest as much information as you can at the moment. Also, if you have any social media bookmarks on your Chrome or on your Safari, make sure you eliminate them so there is no temptation to go into them whilst you're doing an online class. Whilst you're doing an online class, try and focus on doing that online class and that thing exclusively. Try and be conscious about your time and extract as much value as you can from that class so that you don't have to overstudy the things that have already been taught to you. There are many applications for your computer that allow you to build a distraction-free laptop. For example, there's the Cold Turkey and there's also one called Freedom, I believe. These can allow you to tailor web searching, for example, so that you block out websites that are distracting you, like social media or YouTube or whatever it is that distracts you. These are incredibly important applications that truly help us and allow us to use technology to create a system that does not rely on willpower and relies on the framework that is built around it. So you don't have to think and use these insane amounts of willpower to stay productive during the day. You just know what to do, and to be distracted is very hard given these applications. So I truly recommend you download them. They're linked down below. Now let's jump into the specific study tips. An important one that I would recommend is that you participate in every single online class. Have your camera on, hold yourself accountable, because in that way you probably don't want to be seen taking a class from your bed. So you'll be very engaged in the online class and you will be participating. Participating is incredibly important because it allows your brain to be focused and looking for things within the lecture that you are struggling with or that you find interesting or that you want to make a question about. So when you're engaged in this way, your brain is going to remember so much more information, and you have to do the online classes anyway. So it's much better to take advantage of those online classes as much as you can, learn as much as you can from them so you don't have to be wasting more time studying after the fact. Not only that, but it will create a much more friendly atmosphere within the online class, because nowadays everybody just has their camera off and no one is engaging with the teacher, no one is engaging with their classmates. So you're losing out on networking opportunities, you're losing out on friendship opportunities, you're losing out on a lot of important things that university is about. These online classes are going to be with us for quite a long time, so you have to make sure you take advantage of them and you try and be as social as possible within those online classes so that you can truly extract as much value as you can from these universities. The second, a very important study tip is that you take advantage of active recall. Active recall is the process of retrieving information from your brain and doing that repeatedly so that the material truly integrates within your mind and you actually build those neural networks that are necessary to memorize the information that you need to memorize. Active recall can be done with very common methods that have been used for a very long time. I know I didn't use them for a very long time and I studied very inefficiently. The way I used to study was highlighting, doing class notes and going over notes. That is a very, very inefficient way of studying, and we do not have time if we are involved in all of these other side projects to be studying so inefficiently. So take advantage of active recall through methods like flashcards. There are several online platforms that are absolutely fantastic. Quizlet, for example, and Anki. These are incredible platforms. Not only can you find templates for certain classes that you are involved in and you don't have to build them from scratch, for example, for Quizlet, but it's also so fun and interesting because it creates a game and you earn points and you start progressing and seeing your progress as you build more and more memory and more information. This was the method I used to achieve that 4.0 GPA in my classes. That included some very, very hard classes such as finance, but I was able to use these flashcards, use this method to retrieve information and force myself to try and remember the material for the exams. So if you don't have time and you're involved in all of these things, focus on active recall. Memorization is best done through flashcards and active recall as opposed to highlighting textbooks and reading textbooks like a million times and going through your class slides. Stop being inefficient, maximize your time academically. Now, the third study tip that I want to recommend is that you set up a study group. Maybe you can set up an in-person study group or a virtual study group. Whatever it is, you should set up a study group because it holds you accountable to study. Maybe not do it every day, but do it every couple of days to review all of the material and create flashcards for the material that you have studied in the previous days. This is very important to keep you up to date on absolutely all of the material, and it's a very, very fun way to actually study, because if other people are also in your class, they can help you and allow you to see things from another perspective. I have usually studied alone for the entirety of my life, and that has definitely been a mistake. When I started studying in group and actually being motivated by these people and getting that competition going and learning from each other and truly holding each other accountable is when I started to see a spike in my grades, a spike in my academic achievement, and definitely you are motivated to keep studying because you don't want to be labeled the waste man of the study group. So if you're stuck at home and you're interested in building a study group, you don't even have to have friends. Like, the internet allows you so many flexibilities nowadays that is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna link a website down below called focusmate.com, which pairs you up with a lot of people in the world and sets up virtual study groups so you can hold yourself accountable and look at your screen and see other people studying, and that motivates you to keep studying. So that is a fantastic tool, a fantastic platform that I have used. Link down below. And now for the fourth study tip is going to be a little counterintuitive because it's going to clash with a lot of the other things I have said prior. But if your class is slow or useless, if it's one of the first classes that you're taking in the semester, or it's one of those administrative classes, or during the first 15 minutes where a lot of professors just want to waste time doing bureaucratic BS that doesn't add value to your academics, then do something else. And by do something else, I mean maybe have your camera off and clean your room, set up a more organized workspace, get a quick workout in if you're very, very bogged down for time. Do something that is productive, but always remember to have your Zoom still there, maybe the volume quite low so you can still hear your name if they call you out, and so that you can participate here and there so that your participation points don't drop the hell down. So if a class is useless, being slow, or very, very unproductive, where you know you're not gonna gain any value from it, don't stay there. Don't waste your time there, because there are many, many other things that you could be involved in: your extracurriculars, your side projects, your side hustles, building a business, whatever it is that you like to do it during that time. But remember to just keep an eye on the class and make sure that it's actually still being unproductive and that you are not doing something else just for the sake of doing something else. And by doing these more productive things, you are going to be much more motivated to continue doing your online classes and much more excited to continue with your days, because if you only do online classes and only focus on the academics, your days just blend into a mush of nothingness, and it's just repetitive and monotone, and it truly brings you down, especially if you're stuck inside and you can't leave your house or you barely leave your house for anything. Make sure that you do other things that inspire you, that motivate you, that really spark that passion within you to get out of your bed in the morning and do the things that you really want to do and progress towards your goals. So I hope you really found those tips helpful. Those are the tips I used to achieve a 4.0 GPA, a perfect score during one of the quarantine semesters at Boston University. And tell me down below in the comments what has been the single most difficult thing of doing these online classes. I know for me it has been the lack of engagement of people inside the online classes, where nobody turns their cameras on, no one is involved, no one is participating, and it's truly, truly a drain. I know we're all struggling at the same time, but let's stay strong. Let's focus on these tips. And if you have any other tips, also leave them in the comments down below. I know it will help a lot of people out. It will help me out that I'm still struggling to try and navigate my way through these online classes. So I really hope you found some value in this video. Leave a like if you did, and linked here are gonna be some other great videos that I have recently made about quarantine and how to be productive during quarantine, particularly using technology, and how to build a proper routine where you can actually be as maximally effective as possible whilst you're stuck inside and whilst these quarantines are still going on all across the world. And if you haven't subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss a single other video. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.